What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, closet swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. Hope you guys are dealing with volatility. Even this morning, we're seeing some volatility come in. We've seen a couple pretty interesting moves already, and we just started. So right now, you're getting a little pump. Let me know if anybody sees any headlines, anything else that just came out. But uh, either that or $5 candles on the SPY is normal at this point. We don't know. We don't know. Everything is what's the rumor, what's the news? Fundamentals really don't matter in this type of market because we don't know exactly what market conditions we have. The uncertainty is crazy. Yesterday we went through the biggest one-day reversal. Uh I mean we were watching that 525 zone. We even did a little fib. We're like, this is an interesting kind of a drop spot. And then I was like, maybe you get back down to like this 511. You blew through that. You get through the next one, 504, blew through that. Still have not taken out this candle from Monday, but wild moves. If you think you're safe in one direction, you better reconsider or start hedging just in case, even though it feels apps it tends to pay off right now. But we got AJ now. Good morning to you. Good morning to Amy. Good morning to Andy. Andy, good morning to Bill, Brian, Chad. Good morning. Emily, Joe, JT, Keith, Kevin, Lauren, Lucian, Mark, Marius in the house. Good morning to Michelle, Peter, Tim, Wendy, all my people out in YouTube land. We got Peter, first one in the chat. Good morning to you. Good morning to Mustafa, Leonard, Bijal, M Skies in the house. Lala, good morning to you. Jenny, Jenny, haven't seen you in a minute. What's happening, Jenny? We got Ray in the house. Good morning to you. Sabine, good morning to you. Yeah, crazy. Mustafa says worst financial in history of mankind coming. I don't know. We'll see. Bijal says Oxy puts it gonna be, yeah, oil was I think we're at what they say, 6-year lows or something. Yeah, oil's getting killed. China's 84. Yeah, they came out today saying that some of the Chinese names still might be delisted. That might be part of it. So a little insecurities, I guess, in China stocks again. We'll see. Not a great open, even though we feel like we just had a massive rally since I started talking. So this 4-minute rally just keeps going in the markets at the moment. Do I think we're oversold from one-day reversal? Maybe tariffs could justify it, but we'll see. The news, obviously, the reversal kind of came off the news that we were imposing a 104% tax or tariff to China in response to their retaliatory tariff to us. So the battle continues. Not a great location that we're opening. So even again, we had just a bunch of green candles in a row and pretty decent move until we start getting to look for resistance today about 503.86. If we could get to that spot, again, maybe we can. It might be one candle, who knows? But look for that for resistance yesterday if we could get there. If you're short on things, you don't probably even want to see this level hit, but this is 506.38. That means we are getting back above this VPOC from this high volume day. Otherwise, for right now, I think that's a really good resistance spot in the market. Uh, and the last final stretch target for today, 511.83. We start getting anywhere above that. The bulls right back in control and marching this market higher. Otherwise, for right now, it looks like we're a little bit weak, even though there's green candles at the moment coming in. We'll have to see where this market opens. Let's even go to a. I was looking at this 15-minute chart. So let's go to this 15-minute chart on SPY. And right now, we do have a double bottom that is holding. You can have all of those moving averages. So you do have some support resistance in terms of maybe if you have a stop somewhere around 485.20-ish. That would probably be an interesting spot for, like, if we take that out, we probably just keep sailing more bearish from here. You're approaching your immediate resistance on a 15-minute chart, 496.52. But what I'm looking at is even on this move down, so I just want to focus kind of on this last leg. This was a really good rejection spot. Again, it was accompanied by some news, but even before the news, we kind of just started hanging out, felt a little resistance. Did I assume we were going to have a 35 drop after? No, probably That wasn't on my bingo card for the day. Otherwise, we could have a little bit of just sideways chop in here, and then anything above probably that last little pre-market pivot. Again, I don't know how far this takes us. All of my targets are complete nonsense. If any of this move is based off of some kind of crazy headline and it just reverses everything. Shorts get squeezed pretty hard in these markets if news comes out. And if news comes out to the negative side, any of the bulls currently buying this thing absolutely panic, freak out, and that causes the biggest biggest reversals we've ever seen in the market. So we'll see. But right now we're at that resistance. Maybe this double bottom could hold. Let's scroll out a little bit more on this one. Just see if we have any volume zones we really have to worry about. Yep, big, huge volume, 505.46 for what I got on the screen. And then the high end of this range takes us right into this 523.54. I got nothing above that except for immediate VPOC or the next one, 537.94. No huge volume really in that zone as well. But maybe longer term, slightly double bottom. And we'll see if that 538 is in the cards. I don't know about for today, but I don't know. I can't put it past it in this market. That's like three candles. That's about three candles to the upside. I don't know. Nice looking double bottom on the Qs as well. So we'll see. The other thing in this market too, and I think there is, we've had reports, there's discussions of countries talking to Trump. We don't have deals published. I think once we start hearing a country actually solidified a deal, that's when you can start saying now the other countries start falling into place. So before that happens, everything else is just kind of assuming that maybe we're just too low. We're trying to buy some dips. We don't know. But until we start to sprinkle in actual, we have official deals from other countries of things, then we start to build out that landscape. And then I think you start to see more and more deals be made, and then that might be the bottom of the market. For right now, we don't have that. Wendy says, "How about the downside? It's just lower." Yeah, uh, if we start continuing down, this is where I'm at on my cues. Even in the zone we're at now, there's really nothing holding us up until 407.23. Okay, we've hit that. Was it Monday? So we hit that on Monday. We started to bounce. If we start breaking that Monday candle, the next immediate spot would be a quick flush into there's nothing holding us up until 386.70 on the Qs. And then you got room to like 364.97, which is a big one. Um, but it will happen quickly if we do not hold these levels. There's not much support after that Monday candle for another 14, $15 point move to the downside. Lucia says, I don't like days like this when the pre-market bounces back and forth between red green hits. Yeah, and every single thing has been kind of off a mini news headline too. So we'll see. Where's Bitcoin hanging out today? BTC, USD. Really not. We're already kind of in the zone. I mean, one candle. I've got one little spot that might hold. I'm not. I'm not going to put my life savings that Bitcoin bounces here. This is 76 412-ish, somewhere around there, maybe a tad lower. 76 221. Otherwise, not besides one little tiny blip, which is probably a recent one. I think your next target at this point is about 67 820, but we'll see if any news comes out to negate that feeling, and we just kind of rally up to the upside too. Again, in this spot, if we do get news, vice versa to the downside, there's not really much in the way, standing in the way, at least to about 80,600 again. So you have just about 4,000 to the high side, and then you have a little bit more to the downside on this is about $9,000 to the downside on Bitcoin. So not really in a comfortable zone where this is a spot to establish any type of position. I would either be only going long if it comes down further, or maybe if you want to go short, you're probably looking shorts to the 82.7. But that would tail to your argument of maybe there's some chop of just not really a lot of interest in one direction or the other and causes some chaos. Chad says Palantir gonna have a bear spread at 100. Um, Looking at a bear spread at 100. Yeah, I don't. I mean, right now you have really good. Watch about $80.74. We're almost into that now. Actually, yeah, pre-market we're into that now. Other really good support on this one is 75.59. Anything below that, and I think you have potential to start hitting some of these lower levels. Again, this is 67.45, 60.94. Not really much in between that. Next level 42.51. Next level like 37.09. So I think there's a lot of room to the downside. We're just kind of hanging out into a high volume zone. If we could recapture and get above $80.74, I think our next immediate target probably about 84.26. But now you start putting some of that volume below you. Maybe you have a little bit more support. I don't know that we have the support yet. So play that how you want to. Before you get to 100, you do have probably about somewhere around this 95, 96 zone. Uh, Depends, I think, on how much time you want on that play, Chad. I don't think a bear play is the worst idea. But I would have some kind of hedging anywhere above probably 87.15. But for right now, it looks good. I mean, this is still, it looks a little chaotic, but you still have a little bit of a head and shoulders. We clearly broke the neckline. This retest should be, honestly, some kind of retest into that neckline, and then maybe we fall. Only thing really holding you up is maybe that 200 EMA. You got some buyers possibly stepping in, but, and then you have earnings. Watch that too. So earnings are May 12th. Who knows what happens from there. They went crazy off the last one. Um, but I don't know how these earnings play out and what kind of guidance we have, all of that stuff too. But if we start to break down, we're kind of in the spot where it's like you could take your shot. Probably not a bad spot to build it. Your risk reward is probably good on the short side. Otherwise, if this thing really starts to move, it can move very, very quickly to the downside. I don't know. I don't know if we move like crazy to the higher side unless we have some deals news. Then Palantir will be a retail favorite and probably move very quickly with it. But you should have at least some levels or a way to hedge it. So yeah, I don't mind that play. Mark says, what indicator do I use on the side of my charts, the left side of my chart? This is the volume profile, the Lux Algo version. I think there's other features to it. This is the only portion of it that I use. Yep. So Lux Algo, and then it's the volume profile. All right. Let's see. I missed a couple tickers already. We got Amazon. Let me know if you guys got other ones as well. I got Apple, MSTR, Tesla on the list. Amazon is looks exactly like we had a day from the rest of the market. Where we were up pretty decent. You actually did climb above 183.42. Bulls were in full control at that point. But with this reversal, again, you are getting we're bouncing a little bit. If you normally on a good day, like a normal, like if you give me like 3 months ago and you have Amazon gapping up 80 cents, well, that's a good gap. But after you just went from a $15 reversal off the highs, I think even a little bit more than that, that 80 cents is almost meaningless. So we'll see if the Bulls want to rampage. Watch for resistance somewhere around 174. If you like it short, that's probably the better spot to look to go short on Amazon. If you get there to that 174, you could probably throw stops somewhere above the Friday VPOC, maybe above even the high of that candle. You probably want to give your stops a little bit of room in this market, but somewhere around 178.40. That gives you about $4 of risk if you get stopped out, if it just keeps on battling through all those, and you probably have opportunities to lower your stops. Right here where we're opening, we're kind of in no man's land. I think the with that reversal that we put in yesterday, it's probably a little bit more to the downside unless you start breaking this 174 zone, get into a little chop, and then who knows from that point. But if this one wants to come up higher, I think it's a better opportunity to a short. That was not a great close. How many times last week though did we have this type of open where everything just looks rough? Like that close is not great. And then we just rally all day. So I don't know. Targets the downside. I think you got room into like at least 165, 63. And then your next big spot, which we did not quite get to, stretch targets for today. If everything looks crazy, I think 160.88. However, I'm going to put a little asterisk next to that. I think if you get down there and you start breaking this candle for Monday, I don't know how well this little 160.88 is going to hold, and you're probably looking for a bigger target on this one to 154. Insane move, but insane times. We got Apple. AAPL, that one had quite the reversal. We hit 190 yesterday and then ended up going down to 169. I think after hours, we actually dripped a little bit further on at least TOS. I'm not sure if we're down here. I think we got to like the 168 handle. But the one thing with Apple, and I did go a little crazy yesterday, and it was not at the right price, but I did buy some calls on Apple. I was thinking somewhere around this 180 zone would be a decent bounce spot. Again, I failed to realize that it would be the biggest reversal day in the history of the market. So I am in it with some calls. I have a little bit of time on it. I gave it a couple weeks on it. My thought process is two things, and Apple's going to be direct fire into tariffs with the China talk, and then people already talking about $3,500 iPhones, all that stuff. Not a great close. We got past 173.58. That was kind of the next spot I was looking to hold on this one, and we are slightly below it. I think in this market, if you are taking breakout plays, it's very difficult. I think if you have big, massive sell-off days, you're better risk to reward, and it's a very tough thing to do, in all honesty. But we're starting to see big moves in both directions. And I think if you're like, man, this sell-off is crazy, and you're just blindly buying things, it might not work, but I think you at least get really good risk to reward if it does. So I tried it at 180. This thing just kept on flushing lower. We'll see if we can get a bit above Apple, 173.49. Otherwise, right now it does look a little bit to the short side. If it can get above that, your next target is probably this 176.83, and then maybe you see that 179.72 zone again. So we'll see if there's any movement there. Otherwise, for right now, again, not a great close. Looks weak. It's just down $20 in one day from highs to lows, and actually the range was a little bit more than that. That's a big move for Apple. You are still hanging into a little bit of volume zone. I think your line in the sand is probably, I mean, if the sell-off starts getting to like one, oh, you have a pivot back here. Let's use that. So anything under 164.58, and I think this thing is just, we're starting to lose Apple a little bit as well. But I was like, man, you're down $10 off the highs. It's probably going to be bounced somewhere. And then no, nuh-uh. There was none. MSTR. And again, everything is going to be very fluid today. I think we still get a lot of tariff talk today. Whether we have any deals or announcements is I can't. I wish I could predict that, but any positivity into tariffs or China negotiations or anything like that will just absolutely rip the market, and you start breaking through all of these resistance points. It's this these resistance work really good if you're in a normal market. If you have catalysts that just start coming in and the entire market wants to react, and then algos go absolutely crazy off of every headline. But we'll see. MSTR, actually, this one's not opening in a horrible spot. The close yesterday was absolutely not good at all. Big old bearish engulfing candle. You started getting closes below 241.61. Our VPOC from yesterday did hold up a little bit higher than it. And the only thing I'm liking on this one so far, the close wasn't great, but you might have a little risk reward to a bull side. Look for some kind of support around 243.21, and then I would just throw my stops at the low of yesterday. You should have decent room for retest if the bulls want to step in at all. You got 252.83, and then you have your 200 sitting somewhere around 259.56. That might be one I'd probably look at just based again off risk reward. I don't like that close whatsoever in terms of bullish sentiment. but you did have the market drop like crazy as well. And Bitcoin's kind of in that like, okay, maybe bounce spot, but it's not the strongest bounce spot. Tesla. Tesla's another one. We keep getting down to like that 216, 217 zone. All of it's been after hours, but another one that just the close is not great whatsoever. You really wanted to hold above 225.61. We did not do that. Pre-market right now, you got 225.80, and about 22 minutes ago it was much lower than that, sitting closer to 220. So we moved about $5 since I've been talking. Otherwise, the low of this candle from Monday, which is the one we don't want to see any closing below it. If you are bullish on Tesla, you've got from April 7th, the low of that candle is 214.25. I think I think after hours that when the market was not open, I think we were probably sitting closer to 210, 207, 208. But not a good close again. All the VPOCs tell me that we really should have held this 225.89. We did not. We're still opening below it. So I think this market probably faces a little bit of resistance at open. We probably get some kind of pullback. And then the question is, can the bulls hang in at all to any of these levels? And if they could, great. Otherwise, the first sign for me, if we could really start capturing and getting above 226.44, which we're about a couple dollars away from at this point, that would get you a little bit of upside, maybe into this 230.57 zone. That's going to be a big one. Somewhere around this 230, the next level up, I guess, is 230.84. Anything above that, and you're back to okay, we're just hanging out. We might have survived that bearish engulfing candle on Tessie, but a couple levels, big ones ahead of us on that perspective. Let me see. Which ones did I miss? I missed a bunch. Yeah, 30 days are wild in this market, Chad. Ooh, 30 minutes. Do they have 30-minute options? Those ones we might feel a little comfortable and still, I don't know. C limited. This one looks rough. So this is our first open below the 200 since Monday. Seems so long ago. A little bit of a retest gap. I don't know if 108.72 would be your VPOC. However, we're below that 200. Look for resistance. I think somewhere around 104.33, and then maybe get your stops above. That's a big one. 109.30. Yeah, everything. I was saying this on Monday. I was like, all our setups feel like swing trade setups. Crazy. Otherwise, yeah, I think that one still looks a little bit weak. Probably target to 101.41 and then the low of that Monday candle. Again, if we start breaking that Monday candle, you have a couple spots for some support, maybe even in a swing trade. I think you eventually get down to probably 93.50. Again, that should hold. Bulls came in. If that can hold, and even this one though, yeah, 2 days of much even stronger volume than the Bulls came in with. This one probably is a potential short. I don't know if we have the Bulls lining up at the door to buy this one yet. Let's put this one a little higher. SE. Come on, TradingView, go quicker. Scroll up quicker. You can do it. Adobe. Adobe, I believe, is a little spready. But we'll take a look at it. I'm almost there. Almost to the top of the list. Look at this. That is progression. What do you mean we're not in the age of technology? ADBE. Extremely depressing looking chart. Yeah, sometimes I'll just pull up charts and just get depressed. Is that weird? You are right into a chop zone. Very, very small chop zone. Everything else kind of looks a little bit rough. I'm trying to find levels that we're at. So we're back to levels from 2023, 2022. Maybe you have a little bit of a longer term support here, but even where we're sitting now, I wouldn't get too bullish on this thing. until maybe you start recapturing 344.23. So at open today, you have two very tight levels, and in the way this market's moving, we might open outside of one of them, probably the downside one. But watch some support at like 339.18. Anything under that, I like it to the short side. You could probably put your stops anywhere above 340.29. I think this one it at least gives us a decent opportunity for a smaller risk reward. If we start recapturing the VPOC from yesterday, and then we start getting above 340.39, which is the Monday VPOC, then okay, the bears aren't really that strong. Otherwise, this one gives us a pretty decent short opportunity, I think. And then to what point, I don't know. It ha this could get a really decent breakdown on this thing. But for right now, I think I'd have to look at maybe that opening price on Monday, somewhere around 335, 33. There's more than enough room on that. AMD's getting a candle now on my other screen. You got 333.81, and then big level 332.29. Anything past that, you probably go crazy more further to the flush side of things. TTD, yeah, so that was down to like 45. This one still looks not great at open. And for bulls, I would say big resistance. Kind of looks like a lot of the other stocks at this point. So you're rallying. No, you're not even rallying. You're actually down from the close, 27 cents. Looks a little weaker than the other ones. Look for some kind of resistance today, 46.11 if you're bullish, or if you're trying to get into it bearish. That would be a good location to do so. Otherwise, I don't think there's much. Going back to some longer term numbers, you're back to January 2023. You got a couple spots around the $42 zone. So I don't know how much more room to the downside we have. This is already, even before the market started kind of crashing, we've had a pretty significant gap down. Probably some key levels. If you start breaking $42, I think that's more of a flush. Earnings are around the corner for them. That's the other thing. We're gonna get into this earnings season too. We're gonna start going heavy into it. But May 7th, so a couple weeks, a little bit of time on this one until earnings come out. And the last time we had earnings, it, it wasn't a good reaction from the market. I don't think the earnings were too bad. They missed by 17 million. I think their guidance and forecast was a little rough. We'll see if that changes at all. We got Hood, and then ABVV might be an interesting one too. Hood is for right now hanging out again. Not a great close. We need the Bulls to do some work above connection levels. First one to watch for if you get any kind of bounce, 34.46. Otherwise, I think continue to the short side on this one. Big line on the sand for Hood, somewhere around 34.95. Let's take a quick look at ABBV. All pharmaceuticals might be under a little bit of pressure. I think the next tariffs are swinging in the pharmaceutical direction. So you might start to see headlines come out about that. It's going to affect ABBV. It's going to affect Pfizer and a bunch of the other names. Very interesting location for some kind of support. Longer term, I do like ABBV. I do hold shares of it, but just at like a $100 entry price, so or $112, something like that. Retest gap though for today at support. Maybe get a good bounce on this one, and that would take you to like 176.72. But watch the tariffs start coming in. Other than that, everybody in YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button if you're not done so already. It's wild. Be fluent in these markets. You guys